Right now at 6, Missouri voters will soon decide the fate of tax-exempt status for child care centers.
And we've got a beautiful start to the day, almost cold, at least by July standards out there. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, we'll learn about a support group in Neosho, Missouri, helping caregivers of people with Alzheimer's disease.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Friday in the 4 states, and something we mentioned a while back, just we're keeping an eye on it. There's not a lot of information coming into us yet, but apparently a global IT outage affecting certain Microsoft systems. And so at last check, Delta, United Airlines, and American Airlines have grounded all their flights globally. Because they can't communicate with their aircraft. It's been disrupting banks, broadcasters in Australia and here at home. So we haven't had any of those effects here, which is good. But if you're waking up, maybe you're having some difficulty logging into a certain site or accessing email. That's what's going on. They are working to resolve it. It's not a cyber attack. It was a failure at a security provider, ironically. And so they are working to resolve it.
I believe some parts of the world, like in Dubai, they're getting systems back. So
it is progressively beginning to come back. So that's some good news. But if you are waking up and can't get into certain things, that's what's going on, and they'll get it fixed as quickly as they can, I'm sure. And we have got our weather fixed for a while with these below normal temperatures. If you go outside this morning, it's almost cold.
It was a little brisk.
It's a bit on the chilly side this morning. I noticed that too. And so, not that we're complaining. I want you to know, I mean, in the middle of July, to have it this chilly outside, not bad. And today on the future track, we're looking pretty good. A few passing clouds here and there. Temperatures, as you can see, even by the evening, some of us just the upper 70s. We could be a couple of degrees cooler for some folks out there today, but that's... it's really just a great day. Not much to show on this as we head into the afternoon and evening. And it is a chilly start, again, for July standards out there. We've got upper 50s across a good portion of the area and some low 60s out there as well. So again, just cold. For July, it's cold, but I don't think anyone's complaining. Hopefully your AC isn't complaining. Maybe it's been getting a break the last couple of days, and you'll be able to continue to give it breaks here and there as we go through the next few days. As for today, again, a few passing clouds here and there. Otherwise, sunny skies, warm again, but some of us may be a degree or two cooler than yesterday, but back into the low to mid 80s for most of us out there. We're going to hold on to below normal temperatures, as we've mentioned, for the next several days. Part of that, though, is due to increasing shower and thunderstorm chances. We're going to break down the details on that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon. Well, police in Parsons, Kansas arrested a man for fatally shooting another man. It happened around 11 p.m. Wednesday night on the 2300 block of Appleton Street. Police say they arrived to find a man, Taylor Abshire, lying in the street with a gunshot wound. Officers heard a voice tell them to check on the man because the speaker had shot him. The voice came from Michael Morales, who was hiding behind a tree with a gun in his hand. As officers tried to arrest Morales, he tried running but was quickly stopped. Police then found another victim, Maurice Harper, inside a home. First responders took both victims to a hospital. Abshire is receiving care for his injuries, but Harper died from his. Official charges against Morales are still pending. Authorities in Joplin respond to a crash in downtown Joplin. The two-vehicle crash happened just before 2:15 yesterday afternoon at 2nd and Jackson. Joplin police say a southbound vehicle failed to yield to a westbound vehicle, resulting in the crash. Authorities say one person involved was not responsive and was rushed to an area hospital. JPD confirmed the person died a short time later. Names are being withheld pending next of kin. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, Missouri voters will decide a constitutional amendment question that would exempt child care facilities from paying property taxes. Diane Dillon is a lead pre-K teacher in Joplin and hopes that it passes. The property tax exemption will benefit the children.
Hopefully, if they were not paying this property tax every year, that would provide them with extra money that they could use maybe to lower the cost of their tuition, to provide quality workers which is essential in childcare, or to provide materials for the kids.
Voters will decide the question on August 6th. The support group for caregivers of dementia patients aims to decrease anxiety and burnout. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
Taking care of a loved one who has dementia can be challenging. A group of caregivers meet up once a month at Oak Point Retirement Home to share their burdens.
When we started, we are here. We have resources we can help them get. We understand, and it's just a nice time, I think.
The wellness director at Oak Point says the biggest support can come from people who are in the same situation.
There is help out there. There are resources. People need to just reach out to other people that are going through the same thing. That is the basis of our support group. It really, truly helps.
The support group started a year ago and has been growing ever since, according to Cher.
I think that just having other people that are in the same situation as them and trying to navigate through what dementia means, it is amazing. I've watched them walk out of here. They still visit. It's pretty amazing.
Reporting in Neosho, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The support group meets on the third Thursday every month at Oak Point. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The Justice Department says it needs more time to finalize the plea deal it made with plane maker Boeing earlier this month. Plus, former President Donald Trump formally accepted his party's nomination for president. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Friday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the McDonald County Fair in Anderson, Missouri. Topping Nation Watch this morning. This year's Amazon Prime Day event hit record numbers. Between July 16th and 17th, shoppers spent $14.2 billion during the online sale event. According to Adobe Analytics, that's an 11% boost in sales from last year. Back to school supplies, TV electronics, and small kitchen appliances were top sellers. Amazon has not yet released its sales figure, but said this had been its biggest Prime Day shopping event ever, with more items sold than any previous Prime Day. The online retailer said in weeks leading up to the event, millions of shoppers joined Amazon Prime. The Federal Communication Commission has voted on a rule that cuts the cost of prison phone calls. The FCC announced it will lower rates for incarcerated people at correctional facilities following a meeting on Thursday. At large jails, 15-minute calls can cost more than $11, but the new rule will lower that to 90 cents. At small jails, a 15-minute call that would cost more than $12 will be lowered to $1.35. There will also be a per-minute rate cap for video calls. The Justice Department says it needs more time to finalize the plea deal it made with plane maker Boeing earlier this month. Yesterday, the DOJ said it has been making, quote, substantial progress in finalizing the agreement, but they say officials need more time to work through some remaining details before final terms are filed with the federal court in Texas. Those terms were due to the court on Friday, but prosecutors say it will now be on Wednesday at the earliest. Earlier this month, Boeing agreed to plead guilty to one charge of conspiracy to defraud the United States for its role in two fatal 737 MAX crashes. The company would pay $487 million in fines, a fraction of what the families of the crash victims want. The plane maker will also have to operate under the oversight of an independent monitor chosen by the government. Former President Donald Trump formally accepted his party's nomination for president in a lengthy speech that ran for more than an hour and a half. It was his first public remark since a gunman opened fire at his Pennsylvania rally last weekend, killing one person and injuring Trump and two others. Last night, Trump recalled what he described as a painful moment. Sabrina Franza has more on how the final day unfolded.
Proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Former President Donald Trump closed out the Republican National Convention days after surviving an assassination attempt.
If I had not moved my head at that very last instant, the assassin's bullet would have perfectly hit its mark, and I would not be here tonight.
Trump took a moment to honor the retired firefighter who was killed in the shooting. As promised, the 2024 Republican nominee began his speech with an appeal for national unity.
Together we will lead America to new heights of greatness.
Partway through his speech, former President Trump veered off script, lashing out against his legal troubles and bashing the Democrats' handling of foreign policy, the economy, and immigration.
You know who's being hurt the most by millions of people pouring into our country? The black population and the Hispanic population.
Do you feel like he did a good job making his case to the undecided voters?
Of course. You can't say anything negative about him. He was fabulous.
Trump's family, including former First Lady Melania Trump and his daughter Ivanka, were there in a show of support. The final night of the RNC also brought some star power with this rousing speech from former pro wrestler Hulk Hogan.
Let Trumpomania run wild, brother!
Trump and running mate Ohio Senator J.D. Vance will hold their first joint campaign rally in Michigan this weekend. Sabrina Franza, CBS News, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
The Biden-Harris campaign released a statement after former President Trump's speech slamming him over abortion rights, the economy, and January 6th, saying, quote, he pursues the presidency with an even more extreme vision for where he wants to take this country. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're starting with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Nothing to really see out there across the area. And even as we zoom it out, again, still not much to see. We've got an absolutely gorgeous start to the day, though. We'll have a look at that forecast, talk about some rain chances when we come back.
Automatic emergency braking can prevent a crash, and not only when you're driving forward. Chris Van Cleve looks at how a handful of vehicles performed when the driver put the car in reverse.
The latest test from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety looks at how small SUVs handle the potential dangers of a parking lot. The new research focuses on avoiding obstacles while backing up.
These are not the dramatic accidents, but these are the ones that people are more likely to have.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at insurance claims, they're dominated by these low-speed type of crashes.
David Ayler and his team at IIHS tested 8 small SUVs to see how the Automatic Emergency Braking System, or AEB, performed in a series of scenarios. The Ford Escape consistently avoided collisions and was given the top rating of superior, along with 3 other vehicles that stopped during most of the tests.
We see that vehicles with rear cameras, parking sensors, and rear AEB are reducing police-reported crashes by almost 80%.
3 SUVs received a lower advanced rating because they did not slow significantly when backing up at certain angles, while the Hyundai Tucson received the lowest rating of basic.
Because it was unable to avoid any of the backing crashes that we evaluate.
In a statement, Hyundai says we are currently evaluating the results. The company also points out the Tucson previously received an IIHS top safety pick for overall performance. The Institute says only about 1 in 4 new cars come standard with automatic rear braking.
I mean, is this technology that should be standard on most vehicles?
So we think this technology is highly effective, and we would like to see it as standard equipment.
Ayler says in 2022, nearly a third of insurance claims were rear collisions. Costly crashes, technology may be able to help you avoid. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Phoenix.
Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a beautiful start to the day, downright chilly by July standards. We'll have another complete look at your forecast, including some rain chances when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News 621 on this finally Friday here in the 4 states. And the future track, at least for today, doesn't really have much to show us out there. We're going to have a few passing clouds heading through the afternoon and into the evening hours. Outside of that, a light easterly breeze and another relatively nice day for the middle of July. Now, as we head into the overnight hours, again, a few passing clouds, but throughout the day Saturday, we're going to start to see cloud cover increasing out there. And while the future track is trying to paint a few showers in the afternoon hours on Saturday, I think the main thunderstorm activity is really going to hold off until, say, after 9 p.m. on Saturday. And then it's going to continue for a few days, and that will help keep our temperatures below normal. We've fallen back now down to 60 in Joplin. East-northeast breeze at 3. Beautiful start to the day out there. And again, as I mentioned, it's pretty much cold, at least by July standards. We've got some upper 50s across a good portion of the area and sitting into the low 60s for others, but you can see the upper 50s becoming more dominant out there. So again, a fairly chilly night and a fairly chilly start to the day for us across the region. As we get the morning underway, sunny skies will prevail. We'll be mid-70s by 11 o'clock, so a pretty nice day for us so far. And again, today, temperatures for some of us may be a degree or two cooler than yesterday. Still back into the low to mid 80s for most of us, but some in our far eastern counties, you may only peak out in the upper 70s. Bear in mind, our average high is 91 degrees, and we are nowhere near that across the region. Heading into the evening, again, clear skies, maybe a passing cloud or two, and another cool one as our average low is about 70 degrees, and we'll be down into the low to mid 60s once again for most of us tonight. Then, as I mentioned, we go after 9 Saturday, and we're going to start to see shower and thunderstorm chances increase. We got this low pressure system here. It's really not going to move much for a few days, and because of that, A, it helps keep our temperatures down, and B, it also helps keep shower and thunderstorm chances around. Now, at this point, we're not looking at anything strong or severe, but we'll keep an eye on it. The good news is at this point, this far out, there's nothing on the long-range data that's screaming, significant severe weather, which is good. We don't need any more severe weather, but we do need some rain. And we're going to see that continue through the day on Sunday and into our Monday. Now, remember, also, the future track, this green is showing where rain could be. It is not saying there's going to be this rain shield from Iowa down to Louisiana, but in this zone is where we could see scattered showers and storms. And they'll continue into our Monday and even into our Tuesday, but as this low pressure here slowly begins to make its way a little further east, it will begin to gradually reduce our shower and thunderstorm chances as we head into Tuesday, but nonetheless, some of us could still continue to see a few isolated to widely scattered showers and storms by Tuesday evening. By Wednesday, we begin to clear out and we start to get back to normal, maybe even a bit above. So again, below normal highs and lows continue through at least Tuesday, as we hang out in the low to mid 80s, lows into the 60s. By Wednesday, though, once we get through this rain and the low pressure starts to kick out, we're going to start to warm back up. Temperatures at or slightly above average into the low 90s as we close out next week with plentiful sunshine, so it'll definitely feel hot out there, especially compared to what we've been getting the last couple of days. Then we'll see some additional shower and thunderstorm chances moving into the area by next Sunday. That is a check of your forecast. Now here's Elise with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, a mother is raising awareness and funds for a rare cancer, neuroendocrine tumors, with a 1,000-mile cycling tour in honor of her late daughter. As she continues to bring attention, Gil Schinzel joined us to share her story and journey about how people can get involved to help. Ashley Dvorkin has more.
This is amazing.
Cyclist and activist Gil Schinzel biked a 32-day, 1,000-mile trip to raise awareness of a rare cancer, neuroendocrine tumors, or NETs, as a tribute to her daughter, Anna Rose. She began honoring her daughter in this way in 2017 by running through 52 national parks.
It was 7 years ago that Anna passed away from neuroendocrine cancer. She had only been diagnosed 9 months before she passed away. And, needless to say, worst 9 months of our lives. At that time, she and I were both runners, and I thought, I think I'm going to quit with the races and just run in the national parks. That would be a great goal. And Anna shared that goal with me. I had asked her to be the SAG driver, and she said, "No, Mama." And I said, "Oh, why not?" And she goes, "I'm going to run them all with you." And so that was the start of that idea. And after she passed, I don't know if it was her presence or what, but the idea would not leave me.
Schinzel was put in touch with the Healing Net Foundation, fundraising while sharing her message.
Neuroendocrine tumors do need attention by a qualified specialist, and we need doctors to get educated about neuroendocrine cancer so that they can diagnose us and quit telling people they have IBS, they have menopause, they have, asthma, when in fact they have neuroendocrine cancer.
Her recent bike tour began June 8th in Cincinnati and ended July 9th in Washington, D.C.
I get to meet NET patients along the way and support groups and wonderful doctors. And it's just incredible because for me, the one-on-one is so wonderful to be able to connect with another person who is suffering from this and to try to encourage them and give them hope for their treatment it's everything to me.
Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
A biobank with the genetic information of more than 500,000 U.S. veterans is giving scientists new weapons to understand disease. A study published by the American Association for the Advancement of Science tracked 2,000 traits to see how they may be linked to genetic variations. The Veterans Database is far more diverse than earlier biobanks, and that's helping scientists pinpoint potential links that have been missed in previous studies. Well, time-lapse imaging is a popular and sometimes pricey add-on to IVF fertility treatment that promises to help clinics select the best embryos for implantation. But a new study from scientists at Queen Mary University of London found it doesn't improve live birth rates compared to more conventional approaches. The researchers say the information could help clinics and patients better balance their resources. In a new study published in JAMA Network Open, tracked neonatal mortality rates during the early period of the COVID-19 pandemic when social distancing measures went into effect. Researchers found an association between social distancing and some higher neonatal mortality rates, and have suggested it may have been because pregnant patients could not access medical care as easily due to pandemic public safety measures. They say it's important to consider the ripple effect of broad behavior changes during a pandemic. Well, there's a healthcare workforce shortage in Colorado. That's why officials are implementing a new project using the help of international professionals. Kim Posey takes us there to learn more.
123 areas in Colorado are experiencing healthcare shortages, and it's only expected to get worse.
We have a doctor shortage, a healthcare shortage at many levels in Colorado.
There's a projected deficit of 3,000 physicians by 2030. Governor Jared Polis spoke today at Denver Health's Lowry Family Health Center, which received a grant for the Colorado Works for International Physicians program.
Well, depending on where you live in the state of Colorado, sometimes you have to wait weeks to months to get in to see your primary care physician if you have one.
Dr. Philip Fung runs the 9-month program that trains international doctors who are Colorado residents. Then they can apply to primary care residency programs in Colorado.
When we are able to integrate internationally trained physicians, we don't have to wait as long compared to the U.S. Pathway to become a physician, and we can also utilize their prior experiences, their language skills, their cultural insider knowledge so that we can serve Coloradans better in terms of providing primary care.
One of the program participants is Sulafa El Hassan from Sudan.
I practiced medicine in Sudan, and for 2 years then I moved to Saudi Arabia.
She's lived in Denver since 2015 and is excited about the opportunity.
So this will make it easier to practice medicine here in the U.S.
Let's look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, tech students in Afton, Oklahoma put some high-flying skills to the test.
And we've got an absolutely gorgeous start to a chilly July day out there. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the city of Joplin invited the public out to its monthly Third Thursday celebration.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:33. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we've got ourselves, it is cold outside, at least for July. I mean, in the middle of July, it is cold. cold.
I know. I know. I mean, it's really nice.
It is.
It's a
I mean,
nice
compared
relief.
to what we have seen lately,
Yeah.
it is relatively pleasant.
Nothing to complain about today, I don't
Not
think.
in the slightest. Oh, our very own Shannon Becker's just joined us. There he is. Is it still cold outside? It's beautiful. They see, that is that's about all you need to know for the morning, but you also want to know probably what's happening later today. So we're going to share that with you. First, though, a live look from our camera 7th and Rangeline. Sun hiding behind the trees there as it continues to rise on this gorgeous Friday morning. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline looking all right as well. The traffic lights aren't blowing around all crazy like they were a couple of days ago with those storms. A very nice start to the day. Future track, it does work. It is working, but there is just not much to show. Just a few passing clouds here and there. Otherwise, mostly sunny skies. Temperatures maybe a degree or two cooler for some of us out there today, but outside of that and a light easterly breeze, not much going on today, which is good. We need some calm weather. We also do need some rain, and that is on the way. We'll talk about that a little later. Look at all these upper 50s out there. 57 in Yates Center. It is the middle of July, and it is 57 degrees in Yates Center. Beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful, comfortable start to the day out there. And again, it's going to be another warm one. So we go back into the low to mid 80s, a few passing clouds here and there. Some of our eastern counties, though, may only make the upper 70s. So again, for the middle of July, pretty fantastic. Now, we are going to see clouds increasing for our Saturday. We've got rain chances increasing heading into the weekend, but that also works in our benefit of keeping temperatures down. Look at all those details in the full forecast a little later. Elise?
Thanks, Chris. The Northeast Tech Afton campus served as launchpad for collaboration with Tango Flight. Students enrolled in the STEM program got to earn their wings through building an aircraft meeting FAA standards. The project will expose students to an array of STEM principles, including engineering, aerodynamics, and electronics, as well as provide them with practical skills and insights into the aviation industry.
So the students are super excited about this. We've been telling them for about the past 6 months what's coming for this year. And as we went to recruit, we've actually seen a huge increase in our numbers of students who have applied this year. So I think this is something that really not only fills a need in the job market, but it's really resonating with students.
A representative from Tango Flight will pilot the completed aircraft, showcasing the students' achievement and dedication to excellence in May of 2026. The Woodson County Fair is in full swing this week with livestock shows, 4-H food sales, and family-friendly activities. Yesterday, young exhibitors weighed in their animals, preparing to show them off.
Mainly getting to hang out with my friends and just paying off all my hard work throughout the year.
At the fair, I like to just hang out with friends and look at everybody else's projects. It's kind of when you get to see where everyone's hard work really pays off.
The fair continues throughout the weekend with more exhibits, contests, a watermelon feed, and much more. Well, yesterday was the third Thursday of July, which means artists, vendors, food trucks, and hundreds of people flocked to downtown Joplin. One of the many activities this month was the STEAM Imagination Exploration hosted by the Creative Learning Alliance. The group hosted water-themed activities for kids to enjoy while learning about the vital liquid.
Yeah, so I want them to see without too much high-level book learning. That's important too, but at the ages that you see behind me, I want them to see that science is in everything, and the more you understand about how the world around you works, the better prepared you are to operate within it.
Third Thursdays take place in downtown Joplin every month through October. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. If it's Friday, you know what that means. We've got Shannon Becker live in studio to help us close out this week with his big 3 news stories. And we have a warm and mostly sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the McDonald County Fair in Anderson, Missouri. Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. Good morning to you, Shannon. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm well, Elise. You?
Well, as well. Thank you.
All right. Let's take a look at the big 3 stories this week live and local. What's happening where you live. Yesterday afternoon, a fatal crash just off downtown Joplin, almost like right in the heart of Joplin at 2nd and Jackson. Tragically, the driver that was T-boned in this crash died, Captain William Davis tells us. Also, investigation says that driver who died failed to yield at a stop sign, was traveling south on Jackson Street, and was struck by a westbound car. We'll have more information on that, we anticipate, from the Joplin Police Department later on today. Our number 2 story, another tragedy averted, I guess you could say. Driver did not die in this crash, which is just shocking. It happened early this last Sunday morning. Traffic was stopped for about 3 hours. That is a pickup truck. It struck a rock wall and then continued to roll down the interstate. The teenage driver, male, is still recovering, we understand, from Joplin police officers. We'll have more on that if you take a look at the web. Exclusive images and video, KOAM News Now. That happened at I-44 Main Street exit. And then our number 1 story. This is something that doesn't happen every day.
Right.
Within 8 days, there's my turtle friend there. Someone's like, oh, he looks like he's sad. No, he was coming to eat me. It doesn't happen every day. We're talking like waters 5 feet deep in some areas of Joplin Creek. Now that had receded super quick. Even it was last Friday morning was one of the 3
incredible.
mornings.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Look at that flow.
And somebody's like, oh, it always floods. Well, we will not see flooding like this probably for another year or 2. And it will happen once, not 3 times in 8 days. It started, you know, like a week ago Monday. It'll be 2 weeks ago. No one's been injured in all of this, but boy, it has been really, really interesting to see. And we'll have to see how green the lawns stay for a while, too.
Yeah,
you know what
that'll
I mean?
be interesting. Yeah.
Our bonus story of the week this weekend is The Weekend. It's Smokin' Mocan Dragway. They celebrate their anniversary this weekend, 62 years, which is very
incredible.
Yeah, very rare. You know,
Right.
It's right on the Missouri-Kansas line. There's a
Lots of
picture of the
history,
old grandstands and the old tower there. Don Garlitz, he came just a couple of years ago and raced again. Now, this is what's featured this weekend. Farm Truck and Asian. There are a couple of guys who are popular on the internet, and they bring this farm truck out and they race everybody. So it's really,
How
really
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
You can get your picture taken with them. You can talk to them and stuff. They'll be available. And of course, also Nitro Chaos. Have you ever been to a drag race like this?
I haven't gone to Mocan yet,
gosh.
but I'll have to check it out. But
Well,
they're fun. They're so fun.
I have never experienced it until I started working at KOAM. The being so up close to it,
Right.
it's really incredible.
Get your
It's fun.
earplugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Friday and Saturday. They do also race on Sunday, but the big shows are on Friday and Saturday. So enjoy that at Mocan. It's our bonus
Absolutely.
story this week.
Wonderful. Check that out. Well, again, thank you so much, Shannon, for all that you do and for being with us this morning, sharing your big 3 news stories of the week. When we come back, we'll be back with more when we come back.
Time for those Friday birthdays here in the 4 states, and we're starting in Wichita with Santiago Gutierrez celebrating birthday number 2. Happy birthday.
And over in Crestline, happy 7th birthday to Ethan Jesse.
And in Frontenac, Abram Frankenberry celebrating birthday number 19 with love from your grandparents.
And a happy 33rd birthday to Miles Wright over in Arma.
And Joshua Daniels celebrating birthday number 34 today. Happy birthday.
Over in Pittsburgh, a happy 73rd birthday to Deanna Lockmiller.
And then Robin Baker and Ron Monty in Parsons, they are twins celebrating another year wiser. Happy birthday.
Happy 11th anniversary to Robert and Patty Holder in Seneca. It says, happy anniversary. We love you, Edward, Stephen, and Mom.
All right, this is the most anniversaries I've ever seen in a single day. We have a 16th wedding anniversary for Kevin and Mindy Schupak in Farlington. Happy anniversary.
And over in Erie, Jim and Judy Burns are celebrating their 33rd anniversary.
And in Columbus, Tim and Jeanette Crane celebrating their 42nd year of wedded bliss.
And a happy 60th anniversary to Mike and Mary Ann Horgan over in Weir.
That's a lot of anniversaries for this weekend. Must have been a very popular time to get married. That's impressive. Well, our list does continue with Nancy Peck celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday, Nancy.
And over in Fredonia, happy 58th birthday to Alvin Morrow.
And also celebrating number 58 is Calvin Morrow in Humboldt. All right, that's what I love, is when these lists get to be more than one page. We want every day to be more than one page, because I find it difficult to believe on some days there's only 4 people in the 4 states with a birthday. That's impossible.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, so we want to celebrate with you, and we want to celebrate you. So if they'd like to celebrate with us, how can they do that?
Yes, you can go ahead and submit your birthdays and or anniversaries to birthdays at KOAMnewsnow.com. when you're submitting your celebration, be sure to include the actual day or date of your celebration just to ensure that we're celebrating you on the right day.
Yes, because we've mentioned this before, but just as that reminder, if you email it to us, today's Friday, so it's a little different, but if you email it to us, say on Monday, and you don't tell us what day the actual celebration is, then we presume you're sending it on Monday because it's for Tuesday. So you got to make sure you include that in there. Now, I'm going to include into this newscast some good weather for you all. And if you've woken up, gone out to get the morning paper, or just maybe had the windows open, maybe had to close them in some cases, we've got a cold, by July standards, start to the day out there. It is almost spring or fall-like across the region. Our camera on the Cornell Complex showing us clear skies, beautiful start to the day. Another great look at those clear skies from our camera at 7th and Range Line as well. And as we head down south of that to 20th and Range Line, looking back to the north, folks getting their day underway. And again, a beautiful start to the day. And I forgot to take that out. I apologize. Then we go to Neosho, and we still have those clear skies, plentiful sunshine as we get our day underway. Future Track does not have a lot to show us as we go through the morning hours and into the afternoon and into the evening, because it's just going to be a beautiful day. We'll have a few passing clouds, a light east breeze. Otherwise, we are remaining dry and below normal. That will continue overnight, a few passing clouds here and there. Then as we head into the late morning afternoon, we'll see clouds increasing. Now, Future Track right now is trying to paint some isolated showers earlier in the day on Saturday, which you can see there are not many of them, but I do believe our better shower and thunderstorm chances are going to come after 9 and as we start heading into Sunday across the areas. We get a low pressure to kind of stall out on top of us and then very slowly roll to the east. We'll talk about that in just a moment. 60 in Joplin right now. Keep in mind our average low is about 70. East-northeast breeze at 3. And then look at these temperatures around the area. Most of us into the mid to upper 50s. Check out Yates Center at 55. It is the middle of July, and we've got mid-upper 50s across a good portion of the area. Just, again, chilly for this time of year, but certainly a great way to start a July day. We'll have sunny skies through the morning, go about 76 by 11 a.m., and that's ahead of highs that for some may be a degree or two cooler than they were yesterday. Still looking at about the low to mid 80s, but some of our eastern counties, some of the data says you may not make it out of the upper 70s out there. As we head into the evening, again, clear skies out there, maybe a passing cloud or two overnight, and another cool one back below normal as we go into the low to mid 60s. Then, by Sunday, we have that low pressure, and you can very clearly see it right here. It's going to bring us opportunities for scattered showers and thunderstorms. So again, remember on the Future Track, this is where rain could be. It won't be a rain shield by any means, but we'll see opportunities for scattered showers and storms as this low very slowly drifts off to the east. As we get into Tuesday, though, we're going to see our chances start to lessen on shower and thunderstorms out there because this low will eventually begin to push off to the east, and as it does so, we'll get on the backside, and again, that will begin to reduce our chances for scattered showers and storms, but nonetheless, could still see some as we head into our Tuesday. It's also going to help keep our temperatures below normal as we head into next week as well across the area, which, you know what, we'll just go ahead and show that to you on the extended forecast. We got some time. You don't mind seeing this more than once, do you? All right, low to mid 80s, so below normal through at least Tuesday. Same with our overnight lows, below normal into the 60s. Then once we get past this low pressure, we get past this rain, temperatures do start to warm up. We're about normal on Wednesday. Then we're going to go a little above normal Thursday and Friday with plentiful sunshine out there. And then we'll see another opportunity to go below normal with some scattered showers and storms by next Sunday. That's a check of your forecast. We're going to be back with more of the KOAM Morning News in just a moment. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., a Georgia boy is being praised as a hero when he takes control after his grandfather passes out while driving.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Police in Parsons, Kansas arrest a man for fatally shooting another man. The incident happened Wednesday night. Police say they arrived on scene to find Taylor Abshir lying in the street with a gunshot wound. Officers found and arrested Michael Morales, who was hiding behind a tree with a gun in hand. Later, police found Maurice Harper with a gunshot wound inside a home. Abshir is receiving care for his injuries, but Harper died from his. Official charges are still pending. Authorities in Joplin respond to a two-vehicle crash yesterday afternoon in downtown Joplin. Joplin police say a vehicle traveling south failed to yield to a vehicle heading west, resulting in the crash. Authorities say one person involved was not responsive and was later pronounced dead. The Northeast Tech Afton campus served as a launch pad for a collaboration with Tango Flight. Students enrolled in the STEM program had an opportunity to earn their wings by building an aircraft meeting FAA standards. The project exposed students to an array of STEM principles as well as provided them with practical skills and insights into the aviation industry. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And again, we've got a beautiful day across the 4 states, low to mid 80s for most of us out there, and a few passing clouds here and there, light easterly breeze. As we head into the evening, clear skies continue, same through the overnight. Again, maybe a passing cloud or two will fall back to the low 60s. As we look ahead, below normal temperatures continue through at least next Tuesday. Thunderstorm chances increase late Saturday and will continue through next Tuesday. That will also, again, help keep us below normal. We'll start to warm up toward the end of next week, maybe a pinch above normal as well as we go in the low 90s with more storm chances next Sunday.
Alrighty, coming up today at noon, we're making summer's best peach butter in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Coming up next, the latest on the massive computer outage we've been talking about this morning. It's impacting millions around the world, including banks, airports, and media outlets.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll see how a volunteer program is helping students stay on track in school.
Plus, Shannon Becker back in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. However, that's going to wrap it up for us for now. We will see you back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.